morning. How are you doing? Beautiful Tuesday up AV, and it's all well. It's good to be back. First of all, watch to answer up Evo. It's been a while. It's been like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. But that's what you do because you know when you work hard. They say everything is a game of numbers. So when you work hard to increase the numbers, you must take adequate rests to recharge, reacquaint yourself with the fruits of your labor. As it were. And therefore, I'm back. However, Shaz is still living La Vida Loca. And happy birthday to Jibs as well. Wakiwa pale wanaenjoy pale. She's not told us to tell you where she is, so we'll just say wanaenjoy.
It's also the fruits of our labor.
Yes, it is the fruits of our labor. So happy birthday in that regard. Everybody, what's going on? Muko sawa?
Tuko salama. Bro, wameweka vitrine because of Manchester United iko number 5. So 6 actually. So wameweka.
You know, I'll make you sign an indemnity.
Things that cannot be said.
Yes. Uko salama, Bobby?
Kama pia mimi itabidi nitafute fruits of my labor.
What? Okay. I believe in you.
And then you can enjoy.
I believe in you. You got this, girl.
You got it.
Niko for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But mimi niko
Yako si 6 weeks, itakuwa 6 months. But it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But niko salama. I'm very happy. The energy, I love it when we're all here. It's just Shaz, but I feel poa.
Niko poa?
Niko excited.
All right.
How are you?
I'm good. Mimi niko sawa sana. I thank God.
Karibu sana.
Asante. CJ.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good.
I'm so happy that you people are, you know,
Behaving like you.
You respect Wangari Maathai. You destroy the city but save the forest. But it is okay. How are you doing?
Good. Good to have you back, huh?
Thank you very much indeed.
We've been working for you, so we've got to share in the check.
We'll have a split sheet.
You know, Shatta, you know, the DP said, this is the administration of speaking the truth.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to share in this.
So we shall do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Talk to Madam Latifa. And organize. And Shatta,
Niko poa.
uko salama.
Nashukuru Mungu. Yes, unajua each and every day ukiamka unaweza tembea na ukuje ufanye kazi. Unaambia Mungu asante. You know?
Muko sawa.
Tuko sawa.
Muko pale ile bag ya Gituku iko. You're on top of the table.
You're on top of the table. Okay. But if you're having a bad evening, or a bad day, call Roberta during the evening.
Yes.
You know masaa 6 hapo to 7. Ile kuku zarudi nyumbani. And that is when ukimpigia simu hivi, utanwise.
So kuku zikirudi nyumbani upigie Bobby.
Just call Bobby. If you're having a bad day, utabambika.
All right, well, today we want to talk about another interesting topic. There was an article that suggested that it is if your husband, and in this case, this day's wife, but this article was focusing more on the husband, but if your husband is happy, just has a smile on his face, you know, CJ will tell you it's not because he's happy with Jesus alone. Jesus probably has some help around this city or another city, putting a smile on that face. And the people are saying that the third person in the relationship, in this case, whether it is a husband with an extra lady or a wife with an extra man, is the person who is saving this relationship because yeye anasaidia kuondoa stress. By the time unarudishiwa mume ama mke jioni, ako tu sawa. That is what the article said. That's why we are calling today is 3. They normally say 2 is company, 3 is a crowd. So is 3 a crowd or what is the situation? The argument put forward is that huyu mtu extra is easy, hana story mingi, hataki kuwa wife, hana pressure, hana simu mingi, uko wapi, mtoto anahitaji, angake. Hana hizo vitu mingi. And ako wild, ako, you know, top of his or her game. Which begs the question, kwani huwezi pata huyu mtu nyumbani? It's an argument and counter argument. So what is the problem? Today we'll start with Shatta.
Yeah.
Before I came in, CJ said, I hope you're not giving Shatta ideas, but that was for another story.
The reggae brothers.
Yes. Shatta, what do you think about this situation? People actually say it's become such a common phrase. Ukiambia magalde mati, we furahi, at least husband yako amerudi nyumbani kako sawa, amesaidiwa kusetio mood na hiyo tone. Place.
That's true. Lakini hapo bali umeongeza ati pia magal child dadisa mama pia kwa namse hapo nao mmechoma.
But si ni ukweli.
Hapana, haiwezekani.
Let
me tell you why. Wewe umesema tumeniuliza swali.
Ni sawa.
You will rebuttal.
Okay.
You will rebuttal.
Okay.
Okay. This is why men are very territorial. It is nature ya mwanaume ku protect surrounding yake. Unaona? Na kama wife akona mse mwingine pale nje, she will start leaving you. She will think of leaving you to be with that man. And that man will encourage it.
But it's not always the case.
I'm saying that man will encourage it because they want to be in control. Yes, that other guy out there will encourage her to leave you to be with him. Sawa. Because men are territorial. Hakuna venye uko na mdem na uko okay akienda kwa msee mwingine usiku. Hata kama ni wife yake. Unajua, of course, in this setup, you know, stop changing the topic. Okay. In this setup, you know that wewe ndio the side guy. Sawa. In this setup, you know. But you see, for men, first of all, kama kuna kitu wanaume anataka kuchunga sana ni familia. Unaget their family. Na huyo mdem mwingine mostly anakuwa very understanding to the situation. Na mostly she does not want to get married. She is okay with being where she is na position yake. Na anaweza protect, unaona? Sio rahisi atache kubreak hizo boundaries as opposed to a man that will want to break those boundaries. Unaelewa? Now back to your question. Hiyo ilikuwa ni hiyo ilisema tukianza, akusingewaachana na.
Na bado niko na chance ya rebuttal.
Uta rebuttal, haina ngori. You see, let me tell you something. The reason as to why I think this thing is happening to date is that hata ushaona mtu yana grow alafu unaanza kumwambia wewe unakaa tu una similarities na film mtu yana kaa budangu. Hata wewe mwenyewe una grow unaanza kuambia but your father used to be like this. Una get the more you growing old you become your people. Pole do you become your people, it's in your genes. Unaelewa? Same way, having more than one wife is in the African gene. It's only that someone came and changed it. Unaona? So what we are doing is we are being us but we are hiding it. Ni sisi tumeomoka. Unaona? You have another wife out there, so you haven't called her a wife but she's doing everything that a wife does. Umemlipia nyumba but umemjengea, akona watoi. Ni ile tu hujamuita wife. But clearly she's your wife. Unaget? You just become you.
Even according to the law, I think some laws changed. Duration ya kuprove kama wewe ni wife.
Exactly.
Murky waters though.
Ni ati tu ile you've just become a polygamous you, only that now you've hidden it because society will not allow you to be polygamous in public. Yeah, man. I think people should be bold enough and say, you know, I am polygamous. And this is it.
There are those who have. I don't know if he's still an MP. But
yes.
Alisema openly.
Hata certificate yake iliendewa na watu wake.
Na watu wake, certificate yake ya kushinda iliendewa na Mbogi.
Yeah, man.
And even by the shockingly, I was reading the late JM Karaoke. I think there's a court case and there are 3 widows since 1975 and according to his will, vitu zilikuwa zimegaiwa vizuri ni vile moja sasa anataka kuiusurp. Anataka kukuwa na veto. So the case is in court anyway. But Bobby, before we move, Shatta is saying ata magalde mawananga mtu extra.
Sijasema wanaga.
No.
Wafai kuwa nayo.
Sasa what do you mean? Who wrote the law?
It's the law of nature.
Okay, anyway.
You will get one lion and lionesses kwa your pride.
I think it's actually the opposite.
Yes. No.
Sini lioness na nafukuzanga hata lion.
But you find one lion and a whole heap of lionesses in that pride.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
A whole heap. CJ, that means a lot of lionesses.
CJ is a Rasta, man. He knows.
Tulisha CJ ni Rasta.
CJ ni Rasta ni vile kwanza yeye ako.
Yake ni heart.
Heart na amesoma. Rasta in the heart. What do
you know happy dread.
You happy dread to be Rasta. What do you think, Bobby?
Sorry,
in terms of even ladies have their in this society we live in today, ladies, whether it is younger, older, there's like a Ben 10, there's somebody also putting a smile, because also men are not at the greatest men we've been, especially in the 21st century. Our ilk. Hatuko poa sana. People are not taking care of their business. So
the worst version of ourselves, actually.
Yeah, ladies also have, what do you think?
I'd say, like, other than biological factors, I think how we are socialized to be is that for men, it's seen as, like, polygamy is seen as something that is more understandable and acceptable. So it's normal, it's kawa, it's okay. But when a woman comes up with such a notion, it's crazy. And I don't know, I don't want to get into it biologically, but I'd say that how we are now is that people are coming up with all these functions for their relationships that are starting to make sense for them. And I'd say that, yes, people are getting into polygamy. People are doing it. It's happening. Grounding happen. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right, but I think Kenya tu Shatta amesema, we need to start being more honest with ourselves and having these conversations and just accepting who you are. If you're polygamous, whether you find out within the relationship or before, I think it's important that uji accept and communicate. I mean, there's reasons why people start to cheat in the relationship. And let me speak for women when I say that. One of the biggest reasons is attention and affection. If I'm in a relationship where I'm not getting the affection and attention I want, I mean, people think women stay for money or for sijui what, but you could give a woman everything, you could pay for everything she wants and everything she needs. But if you're not present giving her your attention and affection, she's very easily going to start seeking it from elsewhere. I'm not saying it's the only reason why women cheat, but it's like a big factor up there. So for a woman to start stepping out, that's something that has been considered a lot. So yeah, by the time another guy is snatching up your woman, chances are that she's really, really gone. Like she can come back, but she's really, really gone. Because we're not really socialized to be in such situations. Like, it's not normal for us. This is something we're just doing, but chini ya maji, we're not really open about it. But as for men, it's something we've grown up knowing that polygamy is very acceptable, very normal. So they have other girlfriends, they see other people, and it doesn't really ever come up as an issue. Maybe just in the cheating aspect that you told your partner who you're exclusive with that you're with them, and then they found out you're with someone else. But I'd say that need time to be honest with ourselves, accept who you are and get to find out who you are so that you make the rules for your relationship within your relationship. And yeah, so it's happening. Women are doing it, men are doing it.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I think the other thing, CJ, and I've just been reminded by my lioness. Back in the day, by the way, culturally, men were told, fanya hivi, you raise all your children. Okay, because it is only the mother who knows who the father is. That statement alone, and I have been to a couple of chamas and women shingdings, and let me tell you, I personally think women have a more secret society than Illuminati. The only difference with women is that women will keep these secrets and take them to the grave. Yani heri hata iko tu ni yetu wanajua, ama yeye na sister yake. But wanajua huyu Paul, huyu naisi mtoto wa John. Na wakati Paul anatoka, huwa anasaidiwa, but the way I do it, because they know you, they know your time, they know everything. Yani wamekusoma, and they can do it without, I think men always want to feel like bragging, but that's my own theory. So women are more secretive than the Illuminati. Wachana hata na Illuminati. These are the women. Anyway, wacha tu. But CJ, the other thing is that, of course, in case you want to rebut anything I said, it's okay. But also my question to you would be the notion that it's exciting. This one is fun. We are nakwanga wild. We are na fulfill my wildest ideas and desires. And to borrow from Shazmin's words, you can still have a beautiful relationship and relearn some of these things along the way. So is that a good enough notion? Because huku nje, she's wild, she doesn't want to settle, she's easy, or it's just an excuse?
You know, even for the men who do that, you have to recognize the fact that they're at a certain social level, mostly. There are certain things that money affords and accords people. Rarely will you find somebody who's struggling for his life, getting out over there. Relationships are costly in every way, emotionally, financially, in literally every way. So if all I'm doing is I'm just fighting for my life, I may not even have the time to pay attention elsewhere, unless it is the flings. But you won't probably find that there's a solid relationship that is going on over there. When money comes, especially to men, there's this thing of we beginning to feel we deserve more. We have worked our way to where we are. So there's a sense of entitlement to pleasure. Yeah. So I'll be sitting over there and I'm wondering, okay, what else can I do? And then I'll have that thought of the power. I can get what I want. When I am not in that space, sometimes I'm timid. I may admire Roberta, but I won't make a move. I'm timid. I don't even have the money. I don't even have the time. I'm stressed out. I'm trying to pay my Fuliza, Mshwari, and everything all over in the plot and stuff. I'm more stressed out about the work aspect. You see, men relate better when their work is going well. Then they have the time to pay attention to something else. So when they begin to grow economically, they have a bit more of space to relate. And that's where the man begins to discover that I have more time, they're meeting more people. So it's a sense of entitlement, one. It's the thing of, feeling like you can get it and you can do it. And sometimes, and you can get away with it. Because even the person that you're getting to, when you started, you talked about, some of the ladies wouldn't want to get married. But there's a benefit that they're getting from it as well. Well, it's 10 years ago. I don't know when it was that you joined RMS, but when you did your first story.
12.
When you did your first story, I'm not sure there were too many people who would have wanted your attention either. See, even when they don't want to commit, they still want to feel that whatever they're connected to has a certain poise to it. The Willis that is seen now will attract more, even if you're not giving 100%, than the Willis that was there 12 years ago, even if you're going to give 100%.
A wardrobe.
So even when we say that that lady may not want the commitment, but she's attracted to certain things. She's attracted to your power. She's attracted to your poise. She's attracted to who you are as well. So this whole thing works around a certain social status, mostly.
What about those who are wale wanaume wamewekwa? As Meja said in my song, Kalale, unalipiwa nyumba ruaka. Yes, you might be not well-to-do, but then you find a lady who is now saying, you're not well-to-do, but...
Now, the lady will be well-to-do, so she'll be looking for the missing link in her life, and maybe that is now the element of pleasure or something. So, and mostly when women have money, they really want to control. So she will look for a guy who is far lower, so that the guy can become a toy, A man can have money and relate with a woman at his level. Most times when women have money, they want to relate downwards because they want to keep that. There's the female ego that we don't talk about as much. When she has the money, she wants to control. And that's why sometimes even with marriage situations, you find there's that little conflict when she makes the money and doesn't understand that she's married to this guy and she may be making more money than the guy, but it doesn't mean that the guy should be subservient to her. So sometimes it will just be the thing of she just wants her body, to be taken care of. She doesn't want to go and buy the other stuff from the shops. So she just needs a breathing toy. She wants a breathing toy.
Right there.
DJ.
Yeah. So she just wants easy peasy lemon squeezy.
And you'll see that when those guys begin to stand up for themselves, the relationship is affected. Because that's not what she signed up for. you're supposed to be taken care of. She's coming to you because you're a man, you're broke. And then most of the time, those guys now have somebody else that they love at their level. So they come to this other side, like you come to RMS.
So they're coming to work.
They come into work,
right.
They earn, then they go and provide to the one they love.
Yeah,
so it becomes a very crazy thing. Because again, Willis, no man wants to be in a relationship where he feels like he's the boy.
That's why he has this other relationship.
So he has the other relationship, which is his real relationship. And he may not talk about what he does on this other side. He may not tell the other lady, or sometimes, it depends. But he may not talk about it because he wants to provide on this other side. So he will go there for the money. So to him, it's more like work. And sometimes, you know, you just grow tired even of the work. If it doesn't represent who you are. We had this conversation one day. If that work does not represent your values, one day you just feel like, you know what, I'm not going back there. Yeah. And that's when you see now somebody getting upset. Like, I've given you this, you've used me, provided all of this, because all she saw was this man needed money. She never saw that this man also needed validation as a man. He wanted to feel, like Shatta said, like he's the lion in the pack. And when he was coming in here, he wasn't feeling like a lion. Yeah.
And I guess the other thing is, Shatta, that are we also in a point where, like CJ said, there is an element you may or may not know, but these days, kuna wale watu wanasema sasa fanya hivi. This is the relationship we have. Eh? Mimi, vile anasema, mimi huenda kuhustle. Udema kona do. Yeye na anatusaidia kufanya ABCD at home. And then they're okay with it. Do you believe that nowadays the construct is being more talked about and let me use the word allowed?
Okay. Before tuende hapo, kuna kitu ulisema.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Sio tunaribadla. Naongezea tu kitu.
Okay.
Ulisema mademo wanakuwa very secretive.
Yes.
Si ndio?
Secret society.
Ushawahi jiuliza kwa nini kwa family pande ya kina madhe inakupendaga sana kuliko kina father? Hujajiuliza kwa nini? It's because they know when you are. Kwa kina madhe, like kwa kina madhe, they know for sure wewe ni wao. Because you are from their daughter. You see, but from kwa kina father, is an issue.
They're not really.
Hakuna mtu ananga issues na pande ya kina father. Ama kwa kina father, wanakuwa watiaji. What is it? Niyo, that is the reason why. They know this one is from our daughter, this one is legit. Anyway. Hiyo kitu umesema, hujapiga around the coast, like in just the coastal region of Kenya. It is happening that you have a wife, na umepatana na kama Italiano huko kama Mlami, na mnakuja mpaka mnaishi na wife. Kwanza mnaambia Italiano, you wife, huyu ni sister. Una get na tunaishi.
Patie kazi.
Na watu wanaishi. Okay, kuja hapa Nairobi among the generation ya youth sahi wako. It is happening tena sana. Una get tunapata vijana amemari na kuna madha kona do pale. Na nakuja naambia wife, by the way, pale nachukua gado. All right? Watu wanaikiana ma contract, tunasikia okay, bora tu msizae.
Ama usilete
inafanyika. Just be careful, ABCD, usipate mtoi nini na nini na ina happen. But if you ask me, watu wanakubali situation kama hiyo ni kama wewe ni Charlino umekubali kutoka hiyo, unajiuliza hata nikikataa si ataenda tu. So ataificha. I'd rather get something out of it. Acha ende akamna do. Kama ni demo unajiambia hata nikikataa au cheleta ende hiyo do, si ndio? So siwache nipate pesa out of it rather than aende tuna. So unapata maisha pale imefika, it's no longer about love. And that is what people don't want to discuss. It is the economical situation of this country and society that we are living in that people are getting married for economical reasons. You know, I would call it marriages of economical refugees.
Okay.
Just that when you get that is it. That's what we are. People are getting married asirudi ushago ama asikae kwa streets ama ondoke kwao aje kuishi na kazini yake anamsumbua. Aje kuishi na ngo yake mwenye ana anti atampatia kazi akienda interview anti atamwambia washa makate. You are not here Bazu, you will not understand.
Anaosha makate.
Oi.
Like watu right now people are getting married for the wrong reasons. If because the money marriage is out of love, it's no longer out of love. It's for convenience purposes. Na mtu mnaoana mnakaa naye 10 years anapata doa na kutoka. Unaona, unashangaa huyu alipata pesa akachange. No, they came to you because they didn't have money. Unaelewa? So people need to understand that it's no longer about love. You know, when it was about love, you'd say, okay, hata kungekuwa na issue watu wangekaa solve. But right now, pata pesa unaniambia mtu ana step. Unaona? That is among the biggest problems we have right now, that people don't want to be open with themselves and say, by the way, I'm getting married to rescue myself out of a situation. Unaona? Now coming back to the topic that we have here, ya mwanaume kuishia nje. By the way, unaona mdem akienda nje vile ulikuwa unasema, anaanza kukuchange. It's very easy to notice. Hata kama home.
Akisi rahisi.
Acha nikwambie kitu. Acha nikupatie siri, excuse. Let me give you the secret.
It's no easy.
You will start being changed.
You got her, she wanted.
Let me tell you something.
That's what
even though wanasemaga, I'm telling you, just pay attention. If they will start changing you, utaanza kama wewe chali. Ni wewe ujui. Utaanza kubaiwa nguo zenye uvaagi.
I think Shatta is right in a sense, because, you know, Roberta, the truth is, when it comes to relationships, generally, women don't know how to multitask. In most times, when it comes to relationships, they don't know how to multitask. You will find that they're killing one side somehow. If you're keen, you will see.
Yes, people ignore red flags. Unakuja uvagi suti, unaanza kuvalishwa suti. Unaanza kuvalishwa suti.
Did you realize the weight?
Like in you say, muna speak on women na me.
I think I agree with Shatta. I don't know why you're letting that.
Imagine. Bana,
For the first time.
No, it's not for the first time. It's not for the first time. I always agree with reason.
Guy. Sasa hapo ameharibu.
No, I say it's not for the first time. But generally, well, women don't know how to pay attention on both sides. It will really take a lot of work for them to do that. A man may do that.
And so does this mean that if it's taking a lot of work, it means that Pia Jama Pia, he's just
you're just absent. You're absent, and that's why you will not recognize those red flags.
Let me tell you how that happens. So for women, when we like someone, we put all our energy and attention into it. It's very difficult to give someone else the same attention on the same level, because Sisi, like we're very emotional, so it's very easy for us to be very present 100. So if you're keen, like CJ and Shatta saying, if you're keen, you'll notice when your girl is pulling away. Because it's not that we can't multitask, it's that when we're done, we're done. But kwa multitasking, we're very, very good at it. But we're not going to be giving, when we're multitasking, we're not giving the same energy 100. It's not now about love, or it's about these guys are giving me money, or these guys are taking care of me, or these guys let me have multiple boyfriends. Hapo hakuna ati one boyfriend who's getting 100%. But in the case that a woman is in love with one person and she loves him and she wants to be with them, hapo her attention will be 100. And if you're keen as a man, when she starts pulling away, that's when you're going to be able to notice. But it also takes a lot, like, to get a woman to this point. And if you want to notice, you also have to be a very present lover. Because if you're not there, you're not, now that's when you're not going to notice. But if you're very, very present, you're going to be able to tell, my girlfriend, she's off. But kwa multitasking, we're very, very perfect.
You know,
that's where this thing is coming
it
out.
was my time. Nilikuwa naongea. Umehijack. This is it. Acha nikwambie kitu. Sasa mimi naambiaga watu, you might not have control over things that happen around you, like with other people, but you can have control over what happens within you. Unaona, if you pay attention, this world might be running so much around you that you forget to pay attention to yourself. It's very simple for you to notice someone is changing you. Nile tu ujui, utakuja uanza kupalisha nguo uvagi, utaanza kusuggest usivage hivi. Utaanza kusuggest usibai cologne.
Si twende huku.
Si tuanze kwenda kukula place kama hii. It is very easy to notice. Only that wewe una-ignoring and feel, maybe she's being loving and everything. At that instinct, now we ignore our instincts. You ignore it from the get-go. It tells you, unaprogramiwa, but una-ignore. That is when you realize, huyu mtu anakuchange kwa ule mse. Unaget, kama hajafika point ya kukuacha, first anaanza kukuchange, anza kupata excitement, anapata kwa ule mse, aone kama ataipata kwako. Unaget, ndio ikishindikana unatoka huko mse anaendewa. But it starts somewhere and people ignore it. About wanaume kukaa na watoi na mama na kuwa na mdemu mwingine yuko nje, it's because first of all watu wakwagi wameestablish that mwanaume anaweza fall in love na watoi wake. I don't know why that one is is an alien concept to people. That a man can be in love with his children, that I do not want to stay from my children. But nyumbani hakuna peace. Clearly, you're not being given peace. And you're given wanaume wengi sana saa hii wanasikiza show na wanawatch. That una realize actually, nitaka kwa hii haujua watu hii. But I will get my peace out there. Au kwa hiyo nitagwa shock absorbers. Sijui kama hata mjauliza watu. Well, the real terminology out there is shock absorbers. Unatoka kwa ofisi unapitia kwa shock absorber, una offload stress yako yote. Ukienda home, unapashwa, unaongeleshwa hakuna peace, umenyamaza tu. Unajua senda offload kesho. Okay?
That could be true. And the other way as well, right? It could be true as well that, you know, it's interesting that Shatta didn't mention that when a woman goes out it's because she has stress at home.
Tempting.
It could be the same. But, you know, even before the woman begins to change you, the moment you realize that she's no longer bothered by the stuff you do, you'll say, I'll come late today, and she's like, it's fine. She's already developing another life, another pattern away from you. So she may not even change your shirt or something. But the fact that you see that she's happy outside of your environment, you know, she
doesn't ask questions.
She's not bothered, and she's fine. Then she's shifting, because women are settlers in relationships. They settle. Even those who come mostly and they start from the side, at some point, Willis, at some point, they want to settle. This is where now the demands begin to come in. And then this person now nearly wants to be exclusive, even when they know that there's somebody else. They settle in relationships. Build a house,
let's have a baby.
Man, like we go in the way we go into football. This is a match, you know, pass the ball, hit, get out. We lose, we get another game next week.
Oh my God.
But for the lady,
oh my God,
she wants to settle.
Right.
So it may begin as excitement. And somewhere along the line, she moves past excitement, because now she's loving Willis. And she wants to keep this thing going for a long time. She doesn't want to just have it for today and then tomorrow. And that's when now the Willis will begin thinking, but this was not supposed to be anything serious. And the person will be feeling like, but you were using me. Then you're going back to your relationship and you're leaving me on the side over here, because women are settlers. The moment you see that she's building her settlement elsewhere, you've got to ask yourself questions. Because the probability is she has either found something or someone to build her life around. Yeah.
And I endorse that message.
Because it's true. You know, the other point is that I think personally, and that's what I'm telling you, and women who are watching, you know this, even Roberta knows this. Your people are the most secretive people on this planet. And I personally think...
Are they worse than Freemasons?
Freemasons that are also secretive when you find an interview Jews. And you know, the other thing is, I think also the way you talked about socialization and the way that we've been brought up, I think also the way it is sort of almost a societal norm that, he's just being a man. You know, like, mwanaume lazima kuwe naka mtu. And of course, it's frowned upon. The fact that it's frowned upon when it's a woman doesn't mean that it's not happening.
That's true. It's happening.
I think it is happening. In fact, they use that excuse. Hao ndo macoach. Wameva ile hat. Wameandikwa manager.
Yes.
Hao ndo sasa wanatupanga vizuri sana. I think so. I think that by and large, hata leo mimi na comment. I think by and large, literally what a man can do, a woman can do.
Better.
And sometimes even better. I will quote Tyler Perry's stroke.
But a man has already...
If you know as a man, wewe mwenyewe, unajua wewe, you are not up to par. You know you're not bringing home the bacon. You know you're not the best husband ever. You know you're not treating her the way she's supposed to be treated. Lakini hiyo dem akoto hapo nyumbani ana smile. I repeat again. It's not because she's happy with Jesus.
Maybe it's another...
Ni Jesus naka Andrew. Or somebody else.
Now, and this, probably Roberta will, you know, give her thoughts as a woman. For a woman to go elsewhere, she will be leveling up.
But what about those ones who are in rich?
Man.
They go to the Shamba boy.
Now, that one is a very
The need is different.
The need, a specific need.
Okay.
And that Shamba boy, still, it's a leveling up in a particular area.
Leo ndabaya CJ Dawson.
In a particular
I never looked at it that way. I've never looked at it that way.
But a man can go elsewhere even for less. Because it's just a very basic need. A woman will really think about it. Like, if I go in here, I may lose this. So before I get into a commitment somewhere else, she has to weigh. But when it is for a man, you know, sometimes we think after. We think about consequences after, and we'll wiggle our way around it. But for the woman, it's a comparison. It is, what is the return on this investment? So if I'm going to lose this, I better lose it for something that is worthwhile.
Worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for this, you know, men pia wanazana down, lakini pia wanazana juu. Wanasema anyway,
Cheki hiyo meme ya ati there's this meme going around ati when men cheat, we're just cheating, like it doesn't mean anything. But women, you people cheat with people with private jets, they're driving my favorite car, they're my favorite football player. Like, why did you have to upgrade like that? You could have just
I mean, it happens. It's a joke that also happens online where people say, okay, I mean, I think I had a Chris Rock, one of these comedians, was saying, if you come and you're my wife and you babe, I'm so sorry, I'm cheating with this guy, and I get so angry, I'm like, what? What do you mean? Why did you cheat? What's wrong with it? After when it's Michael Jordan, so I'm, okay, Sasa, then it's fine. Let us know.
let's talk.
Yeah, we can talk.
If it's Elon Musk, if it's yeah, you know. But then that if that is the case, it goes back to what I was talking about, and we were having this conversation of, is that is it time then? Roberta, you always talk about communication. Is it time then tuongee tuseme tu sasa fanya hivi au nitoshelezi?
Yeah.
Wacha tu, either we go and see Shazmin and spice up the thing, or we just say, you know what, peace and love. What do you think?
Something, first of all, while getting into relationships and marriages, something you really need to understand is that you're never going to find 100% in this other person. They're never going to give you everything that you need. That's why you need to have your whole life like away from the relationship. I don't mean like a secret life. I mean like you need to have your own friends. You need to have your own hobbies. You need to have things that you enjoy doing on your own without this other person, so that you can remember to be an individual, a whole individual on your own. So at this point, I think we need to start being a bit honest and just talk about these things. It's okay. If you're feeling like I'm lacking in a certain way in the relationship, let's have a conversation about it so that we can see. Sometimes you'll find like other solutions can come up and within the discussions, and you can come up with solutions that actually help the both of you to be able to stay together, whatever the solutions might be. So I think, yes, definitely, let's have these conversations. Because I promise you, most of the things that we go through, it's just because we haven't talked about. It could be as simple as you just saying how you feel, you know, I feel like this is what is happening. But then you start to be scared. And I don't know why people get scared in relationships. Like, why are you in a relationship with someone you can't even tell how you're feeling? You can't tell what you want. They shouldn't take, in these discussions, I like creating a safe space where we can talk about anything and you're not supposed to judge or counter or be defensive. I think these spaces are supposed to be created in most relationships, in all kinds of relationships. Have a space where you guys can tell each other anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that that's how I feel about you in its entirety. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be with you just because I feel like this is happening or you've done this or I want more of this. It's just, okay, this is how I feel now in this particular time and space. How can we improve the relationship moving forward? Then you find solutions, and it's just as easy as that. And sometimes you can't find solutions.
Is it easy?
Once you talk about it, that opens up everything,
the door for
you
some...
know. But when you're in a space where you're still scared of talking about things, like uko hata before zero, like uko space hata mwezi anza solve anything, uko space you can't even feel free. There's anxiety, you're scared of losing the relationship, you're scared of fighting with the person you really care about. So I really, really am a believer of just starting the conversation. I mean, whether it ends in a fight.
I want to ask CJ.
Mmesema leo sitaongea.
Oh, okay. Unaweza ongea.
Mmesema leo nikae tu kama abiria.
Hapa Lionessa.
Gai.
Nini imekuuma?
Okay. Najua kitu let me tell you in my own thinking, sindio? The biggest problem we have in the world today and Africa, let's say Kenya, because Kenya ndio kidogo tunakuaga akili tulibebewa in a certain way.
You have pretty eyes.
Thank you. Vile epuka ongea kama na wewe. Ingekuwa more life.
Yeah, man.
Catch that.
Tukitoka hapa nje ya gate na vurugu. Anyway, unajua there are people that sat down somewhere and decided that people must have a linear kind of thinking. Unaona and they put that in books, in movies and in everything that they told us we can only live in a certain way. You know? But they forgot the fact that when you are born, you grow with your own brain, you know? And sometimes you will have free will and you will think beyond what they wrote, you know? So you've been brought up and told you should be monogamous, you know? But that person in you keeps jumping out and shows you can be a polygamous, you know, but you tell yourself it is wrong. Because I grew up reading books and being taught everywhere that I'm supposed to be in a monogamous situation. Unaelewa? That is the biggest undoing that has happened to this society. Kuna watu wako very okay kukuwa monogamous. You know, there's a man that wants to be with one wife. There's a lady that wants to be with one man. You know? But kuna mtu hayuko okay kukuwa na dem moja. Ako okay kuwa na multiple wives. Kuna dem pia hayuko na shida akikuwa kwa ina polygamous situation. Unaelewa? In fact hata wengine wanafeel gini bade na kiwa yeye pekee ndio mama. Ana feel acha mwingine pia anasaidia kupunguza stress za umsemi. Unaget? Kuna mde mtu ako okay kwa ina polygamous situation na vile mwingine ako okay. Yes. Unaelewa? Therefore, from the onset, people need to grow up with everything at their disposal.
Yeah.
It
is upon you now to decide when you are a grown up, you feel mimi nataka kuwa hivi. Unaget? Na ukitaka kuwa hivi unatafuta na mtu anataka kuwa hivyo. Juu itakuwa easy ku identify. You know? It is very easy to identify that. Unaget? Kuna time walikuwa nasema James Bond movie ifanywe na Idris Elba. Watu wakazua sana. Then I think it was ukijana wetu etagwa aje. Hebu nafanyaga breakfast show. Jine mentoka.
Charlemagne the God. Jeff Koinange. Umesema breakfast show.
Ya maju. Trevor Noah. Trevor akifanya stand up akauliza seriously muweke black detective kwa situation haina mtu yote black. Itakuwa easy to identify to you.
Ni different.
Huyu ni karao. Ni karao kwa manga, unaona? Therefore ingekuwa hivyo like mnaweza identifyana, unajua mimi I am polygamous. So ule dem nisha identify pia yako polygamous. Unaget jua amegrow akili kitu ana express. Pia umegrow kiji express. Ngori mingi sana tutapitia sasa tungesolve hiyo time. Unaona but sasa we have to go back and start relearning things. But sisi mimi niliwaambia sisi we are guinea pigs. Yetu ilishaenda. Ni generation ina grow sahi to allow it grow free. Otherwise we are just quoting. You see the problems you have now. Cause itakuwa 0.0 like itakuwa pro. That's hizo shida utakuwa nazo. Unaelewa? Juu wata grow in a rogue situation where how I believe in what we are telling them at this supposed to be life. Unaelewa? Juu kama sasa hivi leo watu yana grow, hakuna mtu yana grow akijiambia ati anataka kuwa ameandikwa job. Everyone wants to be an influencer and just be their own employer. Unaget? So even though watu wata grow na hiyo free will, but wanakuja kupata rules zilimekiwa na watu sio sisi. Alafu wataanza kurebel against hizo rules. So sisi tutakuwa tunaka failures as parents. Because hatuku realize hiyo kitu inakam. Yes, we did not realize what was coming. Tuitangulie. Unaona? people need to grow up with everything at their disposal. Let them decide what they want to be.
I like that.
All right.
Well, you know, let me take Shatta to his world. You know, Shatta is pushing the philosophy of burning spear. We give them what they want. But that's
fire.
But you see, somewhere still along the line, you've got to guide people. And so these are your options. But then when you take these options, you make these choices, these are the possible outcomes. You still have to guide. You can't just let people go in there.
Sidi, let me ask you, where do you draw the line between guiding and gagging?
You have to do both at some point, because it depends on where somebody is at. In leadership, we'd call that situational leadership, where it depends on the maturity of the person. In the initial stages, you literally guard. When you have a daughter who is 2 years old, Shatta, you won't let her go out and meet everybody. You'll guard. As she begins to grow, you begin to guide. You let her begin to make the decisions, but then now you'll see her probably with somebody outside of the gate, but she's 19. She's 20, so you can't completely protect. But then you'll just say, you know, I hope you know what you're doing. And if you're going to go out on a date, go out in an open space, you know, draw some lines of respect, get back home at this time. So you're not refusing that she goes out, but you're saying know how to draw your boundaries. If somebody's coming in and the very first day they want to do this and this, you may need to watch out. So now at that point, you're not guarding. You're guiding.
And you've informed.
But when she's 3, 5, 6, 7, you guard.
You protect, you parent.
Because again, you don't want them to lose a foundation somewhere. You see, I could offer somebody the protection or whatever, the freedom, and at that particular point, she's supposed to be concentrating on school. So will I have been a good parent? No. They'll lose school. Probably the boy will go on with his school. This girl will not. So I think there's a balance between guarding and the guiding. I had wanted to mention something about what Roberta said about the conversations. Some of the conversations that are very difficult, for example, in a relationship, are conversations around intimacy, especially for a man. When, for example, the woman says, "You don't satisfy me," for some men, it just bats out or deepens an insecurity, that the conversation will not even go anywhere else from that particular point. So she'll literally express herself, yes, but then this thing will always be in the man. So he's thinking, so is it because there's somebody else? Is it because I'm not good? And they get to worry about it. So even the conversations must be built in a way where the other person's self-esteem is not broken.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Let's take a look at some feedback here, what you're saying on SMS here. Marcy says, Shatta is speaking the truth. People are getting married due to economic challenges, not love. Take that to the bank. Nice play on words there. Economic, take that to the bank. CJ, you've raised a good point. When a man gets money, there is power that accompanies it, that you can get anything you want. You believe you can get the most beautiful and younger woman. How do you control that? You can get the most beautiful and younger. Well, I don't know. But anyway, how do you control that? Those will be in his closing remarks. Engineer Lazaro, the person who introduced gold digging has spoiled faithfulness in a relationship. This time round, most young beautiful ladies are in a relationship just for monetary gain. Age is just number. But pia men pia tunataka coin. So the truth is that a woman will never go outside her marriage, not unless she suspects her husband is doing so. This is what they want you to believe. People. But in society, they are humans just like us. Zingine anataka tu a thrill. Si lazima ikuwe deep anyway. That's it? All right. Okay. Well, I guess CJ, that person has, how do you control ukishapata pesa mingi? Kuna mwanaume atashinda tenda ya mahasla hivi karibuni. Sasa atapata pesa mingi. How do you control yourself? I think for both men and women, I guess money is
money amplifies who you are.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you just have to remember, see, you've got to have your value system intact. That's just how you control yourself, because there'll always be options growing. So your value system should guide you. if you started in a certain way, and this is not just even with women, it's even how you spend, it's even how you allow money to run you, or you run the money. So if you're going to decide, this is the kind of person that I want to be in life, when money comes in, do you allow that to change you? Do you begin spending everywhere because the money came, or do you stick to your goals? So even with the relationship, you have to remind yourself, what were your goals in the relationship before the money came? Yeah.
All right. Well, want to end there. Make sure you follow CJ Atemo on his platforms as well. Get his books, including the one he will write as memoirs from just being on this show. As well, follow Shatta Boy on all his social media platforms and Shatta Boy Tiki Taka on Twitter. And on the 30th
of October, Kenya National Theatre.
You can buy the tickets on. If you travel, the name of the show is
The Big Boys of Shibale.
Big Boys of Shibale. Watu pale karibu na Mumias.
Yes.
Vitu zilikuwa zinafanyika. Come and find out. Tutakuwa pale hivyo.
Kenya National Theatre.
Roberta Bobby on all her platforms and www.loveandorgasms.com. Fuata, soma blog, sikiza Podi. Yes, you can also follow me, Willis Raburu. Tuonana kesho. And remember, at the end of the day, it's your life. So think about it. Have a value system, like CJ said. Have the conversations that need to be had. Alafu uishi, usiogope. Ukisha make decision pia, ishi maisha yako bana. Because successful people look like you. Full stop. Peace and love.